Okay, this is us putting in the ingredients. First I start with the grape pomme, and since I'm gonna make a big batch of it here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the whole jar of it. That's just about the whole jar of it. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put in this, what I call a pure honey buckwheat, but it doesn't matter what type it is. Just a good dark honey is what I like to use on it. And what I'm going to do is pour in just about the equal amount that I put in of mustard into it. And I don't, as you see, I don't do much in the way of measuring. I just kind of eyeball it. And somehow or another it usually works out okay. That looks like just about the same amount of mustard that we have in there. Then the next thing I add, is the brown sugar. And once again, with the brown sugar, it's probably, you'll see about how much I use. This is what gives it its sweet. A lot of it's sweet besides the honey. So I put in about this much here to start with, and that should be pretty close to what we'll end up with. Then before I do my mixture, I just start throwing in the ingredients. Here's the stewed tomatoes. Here's the diced green peppers. The smoked paprika, it doesn't have to be smoked. You can use any paprika is fine. And once again, I don't do a lot of measuring, but it takes, for about this amount, you're going to have to put in, I'll try from this side here, you have to put in a good amount of it, as you see, on the paprika. This is what kind of gives it a little bit of the barbecue type of flavor, is the paprika that goes in it. Then we need to add some salt, and there's nothing better than the Smoky Hollow smoked sea salt, as you all probably are aware of. About that much looks about. Now this has got, remember, this has got a little bit of garlic and chipotle, in it. So with the sea salt, so it kind of gives it a little bit of the pepper, and it gives it a good taste. Now I like, as a lot of us know, the liquid smoke, which a lot of you probably have out there. And this gives it a little bit of the smoky flavor. So we're going to go ahead and pour in just about that much into it, should do it. And what we may do after we mix it up and we taste it, we may end up adding a little bit of other stuff. Now, like I was saying before, this is the crunch. This is kind of the fun. This kind of gives a little bit of crunch, and it tastes pretty good with it in there. So I put in a good amount of this. And this is just nothing more than a minced onion that's been dried that you can buy at the supermarket. On the vinegar, I use this for thinning, but I just usually start with just a little bit of a dab of it, just to kind of get it going. And this basically is a good start. Now, you can add either a tomato paste to this, or you can add a little bit of ketchup to it sometimes, if you like that taste. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and start getting this all mixed up. We use this, what we're going to use this for tonight is we take short ribs, and we put them in the crock pot with about a cup of water. You can get enough that's maybe about, for about 2-3 pounds of it, a couple pounds at least. And we put it in the crock pot, put it on high for about an hour, then let it simmer for about 5 hours. And then what we do is when we put in the water, we put in a little bit of the onion soup in there, and a little touch of maybe a tablespoon of the liquid smoke to kind of give it a little bit of flavor. But we let it simmer, and then after we we feel that it's getting a little bit tender, I'll throw it on the grill, or you can throw it into a frying pan and just kind of brown it on both sides. And it will be real tender. And then what we do is we use the barbecue sauce for the top of it. Okay, now we've got this texture to it here, and for me that's still a little bit. I don't like it. I like it to thicken it up a little bit. You can either add molasses to it, or what I like to do is I like the honey taste, and that seems to really thicken it up really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and add some even more honey to this. So we've used quite a bit of honey in this, as you can see, but that helps thicken it up. Now you can also thicken it up by putting in more mustard if you want, but I think this is going to be fine. Now it'll actually thicken up a little bit after it sets for an hour or two, and I usually put it in the refrigerator and let it set, and it kind of thickens up a little bit. All right, well that's basically what it looks like before it starts thickening up a little bit, and this makes just an absolutely great sauce for if you want to put it on ribs, tri-tip. We use it on short ribs. It just makes a great thing. You could even do probably a pulled pork or whatever you want that you use regular barbecue sauce. It kind of gives it a different flavor, and it comes out pretty darn good. Okay,